Hello everybody and welcome back to Trick and Treat. When we last left off, I believe we got scared by a cat in the woods. And hopefully these stupid construction people next door won't interrupt the next few minutes so I can actually get this recorded before work. Wouldn't that be nice? Aren't people stupid? Anyways, it is a day like any other, so normal it was almost painful. I feel that feel, bro. Like I was just saying, those guys. The only thing special that could be said about it was that it was October 31st. Almost. I guess I should have done this on Halloween. But then you guys wouldn't have got to see it. Except on Halloween. Well, probably not, because you're probably going to go out and get candy. Because who doesn't like candy? In fact, I have some candy here somewhere. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Oh my god. Is this game getting meta again? Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least it seems that way. That's true. The fact is, you just don't have a lot of responsibilities as a child. You don't gotta worry about, keeping your lights on, keeping food in your belly. It's more work being an adult, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it was better being a child. You were also an ignorant little, I guess I can't say that. But, you weren't experiencing all of life, your brain wasn't fully developed yet. It seems better, but it probably wasn't. There were some who had good costumes, whether of superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. What's wrong with that? I used to stick fight whole armies when I was a little kid. Yeah. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, "You will be the devil." I think it's a little ominous. What kind of parenting is that? But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went from home to home, everyone said I was the tomato man. Ha! Really, you lucked out there, kid. You don't want to be known as the devil, kid. But those things didn't matter to me since we always had a good time. That's true. Really, it doesn't matter. Money, no money. As long as you're having a good time, enjoying your life, that's what's important. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. Jesus, talk about a defeatist attitude. You're never too old to trick or treat. You might have to start taking, kids with you, or people might call you weird, but you're never too old to trick or treat. Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I am 17 years old. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I'm 17. I gotta move on with my life. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Again, pretty sure this is translated from another language, so we'll let it slide. Back to reality. We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. I feel that feel, bro. We are still not old enough to go to a disco. When is this game set? I thought this was kind of modern architecture, but don't get me wrong. I would go to a disco. Who doesn't like to dance? I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how to dance? To disco? Everybody knows how to dance to disco. The other option would go to the party, meet girls, and have fun. Well, seems like a good plan so far. Let me guess, you're defeatist about that too. Everything perfect, except that nobody's invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. Okay, I guess you could just crash the party. That might help make you more popular. I guess it depends on the kind of people you're hanging out with. But you just show up and give no fricks about their opinion. Whatever, dude, I'm here to party. Get out of my way. Maybe that'll make you more popular. Why am I trying to fix this imaginary game of life? Nameless friend number 1. Hey Axel, let's have a couple matches. What do you say? Or are we talking Super Smash Brothers here? Either way, I'm gonna win. My friend Steven called my attention while playing with the game console. Yeah, there we go. Rush Red. I believe that's what the game is called. A fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. Okay, so I was right and right. It is fighting and games. I don't know why I'm doing this. Who does this with their controllers? It's more like at least when you're playing Halo competitively. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I just didn't feel in the mood today. I mean, that's fair. Don't get me wrong. I love video games. I can sit and play video games for hours, but at some point you're just like, yeah, I'm done with this. I have no desire to play now. I replied with discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. You are kind of a Debbie Downer, Axel. Boring. The AI is no rival for me, Steven said with confidence. Maybe Steven should go to this party. Hang out with popular kids. He seems pretty confident. That you're playing on normal difficulty does not help your argument. That's real. Okay, that's so real. You want to say you're good at a game, beat it at its hardest difficulty level. That's how I play my games. I like Dark Souls. I love all the Dark Souls games. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge Alfred. I said, leaving the attention to my other friend. Not my butler. It's a missed opportunity. Alfred, you better go into the buttling profession? Is that what it's called? I don't know. I never wanted to be a butler. Alfred. I don't know how to play. Answered Alfred, doubting for a second. He's sitting behind the PC, but it seems he isn't doing anything interesting. You are a bunch of boring people, okay? I'm just sitting here staring off into space being depressed. My friend's playing a game on normal difficulty that he's bored as all living crap with. My other friend's just staring at a computer screen. What are we doing? Why are we even friends? I'm kind of glad we all died in the forest or whatever happened. The screen always shows a lot of text. I think he's in Wikipedia. Non-Wikipedia? No, he's in Wikipedia. Spread it. Wiki. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? Without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looked at me surprised. You don't read? Do you even read, bro? The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. That might be a problem. I don't know if it's the actual problem. He's one of those pseudo-intellectuals. What? You trying to say he's sort of smart, or like he thinks he's smart because he reads a whole bunch of crap and then regurgitates it back at you? Did you know the structure of the universe is made out of fucking protons or whatever? Yes, I did. Always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. Yes! I think I know what I should rename this guide to. That I'm not going to tell you. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. It's just because I know somebody like this in real life. But I'm so disinterested in speaking to them that I'm not even going to name them in a Let's Play that they'll probably never see. When we forget our past mistakes, we're doomed to repeat them. He added later. He added what later? What are you talking about? This village is small, and its story's not interesting at all, because small things don't have any influence on history at all. What are you, stupid? Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after hearing it. Oh, you fool! Your ignorance is worthy of praise. Is Alfred a bad Disney character? Like a villain, Disney villain? He pauses, filling his chest with pride. You fool. The very fact it is a small town is the reason it's full of mysteries. Where do you think all the shady people come to hide? That's real. Do you know that 20 years ago, on this date, a man disappeared? So, what about it? Who cares? I didn't know him. Did you know him? Did he have money? I asked about being impressed or even interested in the least. But you know, what's the alternative? Continue staring at the wall in general disappointment in life? Things like that happen all the time in this place. Dude, my 3rd grade history teacher just went missing last week. Nobody cares. Okay? People disappear all the time. Frankly, I'm hoping it happens to me soon so I can stop staring at this wall with nothing to do. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place. Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an arrogant gesture. Jeez, Jeez, Alfred's a dick. I hope he dies first. There is a legend behind the disappearance. This is what I was reading, because Wikipedia is always accurate. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. Oh, suddenly I flipped the script. Wait a minute, hold up. There's actual facts to support this disappearance? It's then that I noticed this is not Wikipedia, but some other page. Ha ha! Come on, read this and learn a little. Oh, Jesus, Alfred, you were such a doubter. Don't get me wrong, I love learning things. Knowledge is very important. You should be a well-rounded intellectual. But generally, when you spend time together with your friends, unless you're in a study group, you should do something fun. Enjoy your time together, talk, have interesting discussions, go do fun things, try new things, meet new people. Or maybe I'm just a nerd. Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Stephen and I moved closer to read it. Oh my god, the screen changed. Town of Abingdon, Oxfordshire, country, 1994. Are we in England? Should I have been doing fake English accents all this time? I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Again, commas. Punctuation is so important, because this kind of sounds like 4,000 people are helping with this investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something this strange. 4,000 people helping to look for one person would be a little strange. And awesome. It'd be a heck of a community coming together to find their missing person. But it would also be strange because it doesn't happen very often. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense like, what is detective-ish nonsense? I need a bottle of whiskey, a cigarette, a six-shooter, a fedora. I have a fedora. Be like, it was a dark and stormy night when she walked in and changed my life. That I've seen thousands of strange things in my life. I've seen many crimes. Yes, again, no punctuation. Why is that Y capitalized? Some difficult to solve. But all of them were dash human, weird dash, period. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people, like anyone else. Okay? In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Is it Bigfoot? Wait, we're in England. Is it aliens? What kind of urban legends do they have in England? I have a buddy from England. I guess I could ask him. Bring it up next time I do. Next episode. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. Maybe you're stupid. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham. Cracker. 23 years. Single. Matthew Graham, 23 years is his name. Apparently he's single. Last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drank alcohol but was still sober. How is that possible? Do you mean legally sober? As in he was under the legal limit to drive? Because you can't put alcohol in your body and still be considered completely sober. Whatever. Doesn't seem that accurate anyways with all their weird punctuation. And no space after they put a comma between sober and or. But never mind. Or at least that's what witnesses said. Maybe they were in on it. Anyways, this is not something which can be explained with simple drunkenness. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. I'm pretty sure drunk people do stupid things and get lost all the time. So far, drunkenness seems to be explaining it. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. Okay. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently, he had walked for 3 hours before stopping. Would you time yourselves following his footsteps? And what? How do you know what pace he was walking at? I mean, yeah, the footsteps are there. What if he was like, Or what if he was, briskly moving along? You never know. Some drunk people walk fast. Drunk people walk slow. I say stop, but the truth is we don't know what happened then. The track suddenly ended in a clearing in the forest, and that's all. There was no evidence of struggle, no other trace or piece of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, anything else. The depth of his last footprints and the position they were indicated he was still walking. Jesus, what are you out there with like a protractor and a ruler? Like, oh yeah, he definitely sank this much into the ground, just like he sank that much in the ground in the entire, because the consistency of the whole planet for 3 hours is the same. I don't know, there's probably some forensic thing or something. At no point he stood still. It was as if he had vaporized in the air with all his clothes in the middle of the walk, his walk. Obviously, I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints, I sensed a faint smell of rot. Sorry, my mouth's dry. It's just juice, I swear. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. Alright, well, let's see. In the opening prologue, we started smelling rot. So far, it seems like there's some sort of stinky supernatural ghosts. That might be a cat, or half a cat, that's kidnapping people, I guess. It is ridiculous to think he suddenly started to decay and became Earth. Jesus, just throw the whole plot at me. It's ridiculous to think that this could happen, because that's exactly what will end up happening. In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days. What? I mean, I know if you don't solve things within 48 hours, isn't it? 48 hours, then generally you're probably not gonna solve it. But who gives up on a missing person case after 3 days? Now, yes, his footprints came to an abrupt end in the middle of a clearing in the forest, and that is weird. Okay? And maybe a helicopter flew over and dropped down a ladder, and he just... I don't know why. Okay? I don't got all the answers here. But you shouldn't just give up. It's bad police work. Or detective work. Or whatever. With no evidence of any kind, we couldn't say anything, but he decided to escape from the village. He ran away! Really? Because his footprints stopped like that. He's gone. Just forget about it. Who cares? However, while officially there was no more I could do, I couldn't sleep in peace. Thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories, like maybe everything was a planned development by Matthew, but in the end, they all seemed impossible. I'm still pretty confident in my helicopter theory, although it's probably that stinky ghost thing that pulled him into the ground, or he became Earth, or whatever stupid thing you said. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and to my surprise, I found 4 more! Oh my god. All young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Shouldn't you have, asked questions first? I mean, I get that you were like, okay, this... his last known whereabouts, he went this way, here's his footsteps, but... I feel like... I mean, shouldn't anyone else have spoken up too? Like, hey, you know this has happened 4 other times, right? Okay, it's a problem. People disappear in this town all the time. Help. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. Ah, well. I mean, it's pretty easy to avoid. Just don't go outside on Halloween. Well, that's kind of a bummer. You can't go trick-or-treating. Just stay away from the forest at Halloween. There we go. But there is more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this. I'm all ears. And that is the separation of the years. What? No. That is so... There's copycat killers, alright? Cults. There's plenty of reasons why people would die over a large span of years. Then yes, maybe it was not one person, but... whatever. Bacon! Dang it, now I want bacon. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1924. Mike Mitchell Smith disappeared 1867. Hold on, I'm doing math. 61 years? I don't know. Jason Black, 1813. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor, 1707. Why is that the worst of all? Just because it was the furthest away? 1707. Oswald Taylor. Oh, wait a minute. Duh. I was thinking, like, America wasn't colonized. Well, they are British people. Oh, yeah. We're in England. Duh. Worst of all, Oswald Taylor, it simply couldn't be possible. How could people keep disappearing in the same forest over and over and over in the span of, well, at least 200 years so far by what we can tell? I don't know what year we're in now. What with the disco and stuff. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. Jesus, this is a long article. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. It was then when I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually hid a great story. Was it really that well hid, if any random detective could just find it? Before it was called Oakwood, or Oaks Forest, the place was called Witchwood. And it was spelled in the old way, because it was the old witches. So it's a witch. The word witch has a huge similarity to witch. Taking into consideration that it's an old name and language changes over time, the indications that it was a forest full of witches. Daisy. How do we kill witches? Get the crossbow. Apparently, more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Okay, fine, but people also used to believe that the sun was a god. And thunderstorms were, I don't know, plagues. Unfortunately, almost all the information is already lost. Duh. They were stories told in voice, without a properly written record, because people were stupid back then. I just know that with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Aha! That's a nice touch. Yeah. Witches weren't always seen as bad. It wasn't until the Christian rolled around and started oppressing women that witches were suddenly not so great anymore. Apparently, the last one, before her death, cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist. Again, worst kept secret ever. This is pretty obvious. Also, why would people walk into a cursed forest of witches? Or just cut it down. What the fudge, man? Anyway, obviously I cannot accept something like this as the answer. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each one of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Okay, this guy's kind of a closed-minded idiot. But that's a fair assumption to put at the end of the record. Ran away from the village to escape something in their lives, made it look like something supernatural to fake their death. Okay, sure, I'll buy it. Seems plausible. Oh my god, are we done with the letter? Interesting story. I disagree. I didn't know that such a story was hiding in this town. Again, not really hiding. I said, honestly surprised. Even if it is a lie, it managed to hold my interest. And that's all I really wanted in life. A brief moment of not being bored. That being said, I have to go to work and be bored. So I'm going to end this episode right here, and we'll pick up right after this. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.